Hey folks, welcome back to MusicalConman plays Slay That Spire. We're doing the only thing we ever do, the only thing we ever have done, the only thing that ever could be. Silent Ascension 20. Card remove, max HP, curse for rare relic or boss relic. Let's take a look at this map. Now if we took a curse for a rare relic, there is some early shops here. This is an aggressive act. But if we go this way, it's fight, event, campfire. Shop, campfire, elite, and that's pretty trustworthy. Then we could go this way and do another elite if we wanted, or do a campfire into another elite, or just a bunch of hallway fights. If we go this way, it's a lot of hallway fights in a row, then campfire elite, then more hallway fights, another elite, more hallway fights. Right side is looking pretty bad. I'm looking at left side. This is looking like a pretty tough act. We're going to have to fight an elite pretty early no matter what we do. Boss relic swap could help a lot, but it could also be not great. I'm going to say a random rare relic. Okay, so we got Writhe, which is a pretty good curse as curses go. Unplayable, innate. It doesn't do anything bad to us, and we draw it on turn 1 when we're getting six other cards anyway. And we got Incense Burner. Every 6 turns gain 1 intangible. Very good. Is that good enough for a super elite? If we remove a curse and only take 2 fights? I don't think so. So let's take 2 fights here. We'll kind of hope one of those question marks gives us another fight. And they're going to weaken us. So let's get this down below 4 health. They're also going to make us frail. But now one of these does that. One of those, and I guess we'll defend for 3. Coming up, we've got Survivor, which will be nice if we need to block, which we don't, so it's just going to frail us. We waste all our block cards. Now we draw all our offense. And we just play the cards we have. So we take 1 more damage. Hopefully our last damage. Almost certainly going to get another attack, but it doesn't matter, because it's dead. I forgot we weren't weak. Okay. We do have our Incense Burner at 5, so we've got a free turn 1 next fight. So we got a Sucker Punch, a Backstab, a Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger lets us do some defense and a little bit of attacking. It's not good against Gremlin Knob. Sucker Punch, it just does 7 damage. But Backstab does 11. But it makes our opening hand worse, which is tricky, especially when we've already got a Writhe in it. Cloak and Dagger will be better later in Act 2, but we need to have enough damage to kill an elite. So I'm going to take Sucker Punch, just because with only 2 fights before we go into this elite, there are very decent odds that we just don't get enough damage to kill one, unless we just take all the damage we can get. And we've got a Strike, a Survivor, and a Defend. So if we defend here, next turn we could fully block and play another Strike, then it's at 16 health. Or we could take 3 if we draw another Strike and put it down. So let's block 4 here. Alright, so we'll full block, do a little damage, make it weak. And we are not quite going to destroy it here, so we're going to take another 7, unfortunately. Writhe is coming back to say hello. 4 is a very good number to have Incense Burner on against 2 of the 3 elites, and are pretty good against the 3rd one. Oof. I guess I'll take a Leg Sweep. But it's not really ideal. Alright, let's upgrade... Upgrade Neutralize or upgrade Sucker Punch. It's a 1 damage upgrade versus a 2 damage upgrade. I think I'll take the 2 damage upgrade, but I'm not excited about it. I think it's just at this point every point of damage counts. Alright. It is going to be weak for a while. Our deck is full of weak. And we get to reset our Incense Burner. So let's just get it low and then figure out how long we can afford to stall. We're trying to stall for several turns, so let's just make sure it stays weak. Keep it weak. Get it down to 3 health. It will block. Next turn we have defend, defend, defend. And this will be its first strength gain. So I think that seems pretty good. Alright, if we can kill it this next turn, that would be ideal. Killing it that turn would also have been okay. I guess we'll take an Endless Agony just because it does damage. We could take Eviscerate just because it lets us spend 3 energy on attacks. But I don't know if that's a very good reason. Alright. 75 for that. So we cannot get a Crippling Cloud and a card remove. We could get a Poison Stab and a card remove, or a Dagger Spray. I think the Poison Stab will help us against Lagavulin. I think we do okay against Sentries. Not amazing, but okay. This is going to be a tough fight. We'll almost certainly use our potion. Gonna upgrade the Poison Stab here. So that takes it from 9 damage plus another 5 eventually to 12 damage, plus another 6 eventually. So that's a pretty good upgrade. We could also do the Endless Agony, which is a 4 damage upgrade right now. But this also has the advantage of it takes less than 4 turns to draw through our whole deck. So now, if we were against Gremlin, Knob, or Lagavulin, it would make it possible to start stacking poison up. So, next turn we're intangible, which is great. We'll probably Survivor and just do some decent blasting. Our deck is pretty low on damage. As long as we can get one of them dead, we're in good shape. We do get the Poison Stab on it. That's a 4 plus 3, 2. We're definitely drawing a strike next turn, so we can kill that next turn. No trouble. So let's get an artifact charge off of this one. Alright. Made it through turn 2. Do an Endless Agony here. I'm thinking a leg sweep onto... It's actually an interesting question. Do I want to make this weak? But we've already fully blocked this turn. And if we draw another social weak, we're not sure which turn we'll draw it. So let's get the artifact charge off of that. Do I want to play an Endless Agony or save for 4 damage now or save it for 8 damage later? I think we need to just get our cards played. So we've managed to destroy one of them, which is important. Full block here is fine. The real trouble about a colorless potion is it's so hard to tell when to use it, because different colorless cards do so many different things. Let's drink it now. I'll take an Apotheosis. See, that would have been ideal to use on turn 1, but you don't know what you'll need. So then that's 4 poison, and we can kill it here. So that's awesome, we blocked 10 damage. Thanks, colorless potion. Apply a bunch of weak. So 3 weak means its next attack will be blocked. And with all that extra weak from neutralize, it remains weak for a long time. We are intangible here. And after this, we've got another fight or two coming up before any other potential elites. So it's not a super big deal what our incense burner is at, although it's still nice to have it in the higher half. Do we want a full block here and try and get it up to 3 or 4? So we've got 2 turns to draw any attack at all. I think we can do that. We've got 5 attacks that'll kill in here. And I think killing it at 3 is perfectly fine. Meat on the Bone is awesome. If your HP is below 50%, heal 12. And Predator. Yeah, Predator is really nice for that early damage we're missing. 38 gold says no shop. Plus, if we just need to lose 5 HP to heal 12. So, who are we killing first? This thing because it makes it weak, or this thing because it gets stronger? I think we want to kill the Jawworm, because the slime is never going to be worse than it is right now. And do we want a Predator, or do we want to just defend, Poison Stab? We could also just Predator, Poison Stab, go all out. Definitely playing those. So that's 23 damage plus 4 for 27, and then another 6 eventually. So that almost kills it on its own, but then we do take 21. I think blocking this 10 is going to be worth it for us. As you can tell, we have cleared our first 3 fights, so we're into the hard hallway fights. Alright. Well, I'd rather make this one weak, but this one needs to die. So do we want to play a strike or another defend? Next turn, we're getting minimum 2 strikes. Well, minimum 3 strikes. So this thing blocks. We would love to play leg sweep, but we're not going to get to, right? 3 damage from poison this turn, 2 from next turn is 5, so it's at 9 HP. So if we play a strike now... Ah, but we're intangible next turn. So let's block. We can throw 3 attacks next turn. And it should be no issue. I mean, we don't have to kill it here, but I feel like we ought to. It's not going to die to that poison. Alright, leg sweep, poison stab, full blocks, and get that poison stacking. This part of the fight should be much easier. And we kill it. And we heal back up to 35. So we just need to lose 2 more health to get down to our meat on the bone number. I'll take a dagger throw, just 1 more attack. Happy Flower, energy sometimes. Now, do I want to go for an upgrade, or am I feeling like I can handle 2 elites? Honestly, with meat on the bone and incense burner, I'm feeling kind of frisky here. I took that dagger throw, so let's see what we can do here. Alright, the 17 we're definitely not going to kill, and it's attacking a bunch. Let's make that weak. Well, hold on. Are we trying to kill one of them? So we've got 4, 8, 11 for free. Then we can make that 20. This thing has 22 health. This thing has 23. This thing has 29. So if we did dagger throw, endless agonies for 17, neutralize, and then 1 strike. That does kill one of them. Then we have 1 energy left for a defend, and we're taking being attacked for 15, so we take 10. We could also leg sweep one of them. 8 goes down to, what, 5? No, it goes down to 6. And if we did leg sweep on one of them, neutralize on another, it's 6, 12, 19 damage. We are blocked for 16, but there are 2 of them alive. Let's dagger throw the 13, see what we get. So we need to deal 14 damage to that to kill it. So if we did Endless Agony, Strike, that'll do it. So actually, then we can neutralize that one. We could also use an energy potion here. So if we just neutralize, defend, we're being attacked for 6, 7, so we take 8 damage. But if we energy potion, we can leg sweep, strike, neutralize. So then we take 0 damage. But if we take 0 damage, we don't get to heal. So let's take a little bit of damage. Meat on the Bone is active. We get to Predator that. But if we do that, we'll end with our Incense Burner on 5, which is really bad going into any of the elites, because none of the elites are really dangerous on turn 1. So let's just try and stall it out another cycle here. Alright. Ought to be pretty doable to block this for some time. If we can get it up to either 3 or 4, be ideal. Actually, we just fought Sentries, so we're not fighting Sentries. Sentries turn 2 is the most dangerous, but Gremlin Knob turn 3 is more dangerous than turn 2, and Lagavulin turn 3 is exactly as the same amount of danger as turn 2. So we want to be intangible on turn 3. Which means we need to finish with this on 3. So one more turn to block. It will also help get our Happy Flower up to not the perfect number, but decent. Ooh, do we want Happy Flower on turn 1 or better turn 3? I think this helps us the most against Gremlin Knob, and I think we do okay against Lagavulin. Glass Knife is a great damage source for fighting these 2 elites we're about to go into, and now we're going to be very glad that we got the Incense Burner to the right number, because next turn we're only getting hit for 8. The turn after that, though, is when it gets scary. So we always Predator, Sucker Punch, Neutralize. The question is, do we want to use an Energy Potion to play 2 strikes? Next turn, we'll get hit. That's totally fine. The turn after that, we're invincible. So we have 3 more turns to deal 63 damage before we have to worry about taking damage. So the rest of our deck has 6, 18, 27, 35, 51, and this is 12 damage, so that gets us to 63, even if the poison never ticks. So as long as we play every attack as soon as we draw it, and we're guaranteed to draw all of them in the next 3 turns, we don't need to use an energy potion. Also, taking this 6 damage will perfectly set up our Meat on the Bone, so that's a plus. Okay, we drew a Defend, so we can play all of our attacks, which means we do not need to potion. Alright, we're intangible here anyway. We don't necessarily have a hallway fight before the next elite, so we could kill it right now. But what I'm actually going to do is... Yikes, this is a little risky. But we just need to draw literally any damage at all next turn. We don't want to start on 1, right? I'm going to try and get 1 more turn out of this. Alright, we got an attack. We're definitely not blocking that, right? Yeah, no. It's not happening. Alright, if we take this, we're definitely not going to get a chance to reset our Incense Burner before the next elite fight. But also, I think we'll do okay against the next elite fight. Card draw, Energy Potion. I'm going to take a Duplication Potion. The Happy Flower helps. We might want to start thinking about Hexaghost, and Hexaghost has a bunch of health, so I think Deadly Poison will help us against that. I'm going to take the Juicy Bracelet, even if it doesn't super help here. I get heal 16 HP or remove a strike. I'm going to remove a strike. I think we're strong enough to do that. And we get a Relic. Vulnerable on turn 1 will be great. Against Sentries, it will remove all their artifact charges, which is really nice, and against Lagavulin, it just lets us do some extra damage. Alright. No artifact charges. And we get 4 energy. I think we should Duplication Potion on Predator. Draw 4 extra cards next turn, and most importantly, deal 15 extra damage right now. So this would deal 30, and then Glass Knife will deal 16 and kill that. It's very important to kill one of the outside ones if you at all can. And since we want to apply weak to this, let's go ahead and get started on damaging it. Since we have a meat on the bone, we need to get down to below 33 anyway. So I'm just going to keep the damage coming. We'll take 7, and then if we take 7 one more time, it's perfect. Alright. If I do a poison stab, that'll be 12 damage to it. We want to take 5 more damage right now if it makes sense to do so. So it's going to take 7 damage from those, so we'll dagger throw here. And if we defend, we'll take 5 damage from that. So we're at our meat on the bone, so now we're just trying to block as much as we can and kill real good. Seems like a good start. We might end with our Incense Burner on 5, which is not ideal. It doesn't do anything on turn 1, so I'm just going to try and get the Incense Burner to a little better number. So we'll end with our Incense Burner on 1. Not amazing, but better than what it would have been. We do have 33 health, which is perfect, because we'll heal up to 45. And it's dead either way, so let's click the thing. Pin Nib. Terror is a way to kill things. We do have a Glass Knife and a Predator, so we've got some decent attacks. But we've also got Poison. I think the main thing is that Terror will help us kill Hexaghost a little faster. I think that's an okay reason. It's either Terror or Skip, but let's just be extra sure. I think we're going to be okay against Hexaghost here. So what's going to help us in Act 2? A Leg Sweep upgrade is solid, but we've got a bunch of weak in the deck already. We've got 1, 3, 5 weak in every less than 5 turns. Because you draw 5 cards a turn, plus we draw 7 on turn 1. So it's either Deadly Poison to kill the Hexaghost faster, but I think we're okay on that front. Or Glass Knife helps us in a lot of hallway fights early on. Or Predator just because it's a big high impact card. I'm going to say with Bag of Marbles, Glass Knife is going to help us play really aggressively against some Act 2 fights. So we're going to do that. We do get our Happy Flower, so we will Predator, Sucker Punch, Deadly Poison, and go ahead and play both of our Endless Agonies. We could save them so that they don't exhaust, so that we get more Endless Agonies later, but not too big of a deal usually. Keep it weak. Glass Knife deals 24, which would be nice. It's that or apply deal 12 and also 4 extra every turn after that. This fight is going to last longer than 4 more turns. So Poison Stab is actually going to do more damage than Glass Knife here. I do think Poison Stab is better than playing a Defend. Terror is nice, and Strike, and full block. So we got 6 poison on it. We are intangible next turn, so now it's vulnerable. Glass Knife deals 36. That's good. Oh, I messed up. I should have used Pin Nib to make the Glass Knife real big. But we'll just Pin Nib a Strike, I guess. I got hasty. Its health is looking real nice. We are intangible. So we will full block very easily. Okay, so we could try and make it weak next turn. We could draw a card and see what we get. Okay, so Deadly Poison is 5 per turn, or 22 right now. Or apply 2 weak. We have a neutralize and a sucker punch next turn, so the weak is not a priority. Let's focus on the strong. Alright. That and that and that and that. Should be pretty easy. Just need to get a little more damage of any kind. And we kill it. Pin nib on 9 too. Another duplication potion. We could get another glass knife. Or we could try to make something happen with the alchemize. Honestly, with a pin nib and a bag of marbles and a terror, glass knife isn't necessarily going to be amazing against the heart, but it might be really good in Act 2. And we got to get through Act 2 to get to the heart. So energy, but we can't rest. Energy when we discard, or Runic Pyramid. Now, Runic Pyramid is one of the strongest relics in the game. It's very good. We don't really have any cards that benefit specifically from holding them to play at the exact time, except maybe playing Glass Knife plus with Pin Nib. But Coffee Dripper, gain energy at the start of your turn. You can no longer rest at rest sites. That is really offset by Meat on the Bone to give us healing. Because the big danger of Coffee Dripper is, you know, you just lose a little bit of health at every fight, and you just can't make it to the boss. But with Meat on the Bone, that's going to help a lot. Plus, we've got Incense Burner to help against big attacks. So, I think this is a Coffee Dripper. Also, we have a couple of really nice 2-cost cards in Leg Sweep and Predator. So, on the off chance we draw them at the same time, we can play them both. That's what I'm thinking. So there is a super elite path here, and then it's shops and a bunch of events. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 events with a Juzu bracelet in Act 2. Or we could try and go for multiple elites. And 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 events this way also. And this lets us get a shop, either an elite or a campfire, then elite. So this lets us get 2 elites, and a shop, and a campfire. This lets us get 2 campfires, a shop, and 1 super elite. And either way is 5 events. We could get 6 events if we skipped this campfire and went for an extra elite. No, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we only get 5 events if we skip that campfire. So if we're skipping that campfire, that's up to 3 elites, and we can choose to make it only 2 instead of a single super, on the same amount of events. We could take a slightly worse path now to get this out of the way, or we could just take a slightly worse path sometime in Act 3 and get stronger immediately. Or maybe the Super Elite will be on the best path in Act 3. I'm just going to go ahead and get through it. So, we get to Pin Nib our Glass Knife Plus, and that's the fight. It's kind of a little late to be adding more Strike Plus into our deck. We have a Sucker Punch, Endless Agony, Poison Stab, Dagger Throw, Glass Knife, and Predator. The one thing I will say about it is that it would be our only card draw, and we have 4 energy. But I think we're good. Okay, we got a Glass Knife Plus on turn 1 again. Seems we are not going to Pin Nib it. That also makes sense. We're not going to destroy it this turn, unless we had used our duplication potion. But I'm okay taking 6 here. Alright, that makes it pretty harmless. And we know that we are going to be taking, since we have Juzu Bracelet, we're not fighting enemies here. So we know we're taking our Incense Burner number into this elite, or alternatively this elite. It's going into an elite, so let's think about what number we want to be at. So Book of Stabbing, it attacks every turn. Like, it attacks for big numbers late in the fight, but I don't remember exactly what turn that's on, so Book of Stabbing, anything is probably fine. Reptomancer, sorry, not Reptomancer, Gremlin Leader, you don't want it on turn 1. It's usually not attacking. Slavers, you do want it on turn 1. Turn 2 is also okay. Either way, we don't want it on 1. So 3, 2, 1 is 6 damage. So if we do this, we got our pin nib set up. So I'm okay taking 6 more damage here. If we take 13 damage, we heal up to 45. But that's kind of hard to arrange exactly. But getting this to a better number is kind of important. So let's take 9 here and see if we can find a way to take 4. Awesome. So then we take... Wait, I did not do the math right. I should not have played that second one. We're going to take 4, but that takes us down to 35. Oh, I messed up. Let's get rid of that pin nib. Okay, can we take 2 damage? So do we want to be at 40? If we defend, and do nothing else here. We take 5, we're at 30, we start the next fight at 42. Or we could start it at 35, but with our incense burner on 4. I kind of like it being on 5. I think it's okay in Gremlin Leader fight. It's great in Slavers, and it's decent in Book of Stabbing. It just lets you play some big... Especially with a bag of marbles, it lets us have a big turn 1. So let's start at 42 with our incense burner on 5. Oh, I didn't think about our happy flower. That's a bummer. Get our pin nib up to 2 again. Weak potion. Don't really like any of these options. So we just got some money from this fight, unfortunately. Alright, this is what I'm talking about. Remove 4 strikes. Replace them all with bites. So we lose a bunch of max HP, which is bad for meat on the bone. But we get better attacks that heal. I think this is pretty good. Especially with Coffee Dripper, healing is now pretty easy to do. I'm going to upgrade a Glass Knife Plus. I think even against Book of Stabbing and Gremlin Leader, we're still killing them mainly with attack damage. So we could just upgrade our best attack damage card. We would have 23 cards now. I'm okay with our current amount of weak. And I think our deck really has to kill the Slavers. Tricky. Bag of Preparation is very nice, especially with a bag of marbles, making sure we get a lot of big attacks out. And we don't have a single power in our deck. The only good power we've been offered was Well-Laid Plans, and we didn't want it. We are going to have to figure out a way to kill the champ. I think Bag of Preparation is better than Potion Belt here. I might take a Riddle with Holes just as a large attack to potentially pin nib, but we haven't really been having trouble spending all our energy on damage. This deck is pretty attack heavy at this point. I think I'm gonna pass, because it's basically another glass knife that costs twice as much, right? I am going to skip that campfire and head right in here. So now it's vulnerable, and we get to spend 4 energy on attacks. We are skipping a leg sweep, which sucks. But we're playing a Sucker Punch, so we're getting a bunch of weak going. You know what? I need to think about when to play Dupe Potion in these fights. Okay, we get a Terror. What would we want to draw? Glass Knife? Defends are fine. But I think we need to do as much damage as possible. Deal 9. Block 2. Yeah, let's take 10 here. It does add wounds into our deck. That is one bummer thing that it does. But it's weak. That's 36 damage, but why don't we go ahead and double it. And that's the Book of Stabbing. Captain's Wheel, let's start your 3rd turn, gain 18 block, and Crippling Cloud seems really nice. We don't have anything area of effect. We are fighting either Slavers or Gremlin Leader at the next elite fight, and this is pretty decent against both of them. What would we remove here? Could remove a Bite Plus. Remove a Dagger Throw. Might remove an Endless Agony. Endless Agony is... I think it's less good than Bite. It got us through the part we needed to get through. And now it is good with Pin Nib. That's the one thing. It helps us get there faster. We could remove a Bite. We do have a Meat on the Bone, so the healing isn't actually that great. These are better than Strikes, but that doesn't make them great cards in our deck. But we have 4 energy, so I'm going to take out the 0 cost and try another elite. We are fighting Slavers, and we have a lot of damage. So we are going to be able to kill one of them pretty quickly. We are not, however, going to be able to kill it in one attack. Alright, so do we want to make some weak or make some vulnerable? We're going to take 20 damage here, which gets us down to 16. But if we apply some weak, I think this is decent. So now we take 16, we get down to 20. Our Meat on the Bone is active. Alright. Let's do a little extra damage to this. So if we do this, we take 5, go down to 15. If we do this, we do a little extra damage, but we take 8, go down to 13. Next turn we have Captain's Wheel, and the turn after that we have Incense Burner. So I'm not really worried about dying in this fight. So we'll take a little more damage, but we're just trying to kill them. Cool. That thing's gonna make us weak, so we do want to kill it this turn. Get a Deadly Poison here. This coming turn we're intangible, so we'll try and heal up with some bites. I could kill it right now, but we have another hallway fight before the next elite fight, so it doesn't super matter what these numbers are at, hopefully. Duvu Doll, 1 strength for each curse in your deck, so that's just 1 strength, because we do have that Ascender's Bane in our deck every fight, so +1 strength is really great for our attack-based deck. Piercing Wail seems like a really nice defensive card. Cloak and Dagger would be okay. Still kind of not certain our plan for killing the champ, but getting our max HP back up a little after we lost a bunch to bites seems good. Alright, so we just fought Slavers, so we're fighting either Gremlin Leader or Book of Stabbing. So if this was at like 4, that would be nice. We could do a lot of damage to that thing. So we could Deadly Poison this. And Glass Knife it. So that's 18 damage, then 5 this turn and 4 next turn, so that's 9, so that's 27. then we can keep that thing vulnerable forever. Heal a little bit. Seems like a good turn to me. If we can kill it in 3 turns, that would be great. And it's not even attacking, so we'll just hit it very much. Not going to play any skills with Captain's Wheel on this turn. We don't really need to. So if we end with it at 4, we're vulnerable. I mean, we're in danger on turn 1, but the upcoming fights aren't super bad on turn 1. Turn 2, we are invulnerable, intangible, fine. And then turn 3, we have Captain's Wheel, so 4 is a really nice number. 3 would be a really bad number. Like, even if we could kill this turn, which might be possible, we don't really want to. Because we don't want to be intangible on the same turn we get 18 block for free. So let's get it close to death. So we do that. It's, well, healing is good. If we do that, it's going to die next turn. I'll take 1 damage, that's fine. I could have played a neutralize to block that 1, but it'll be okay. I can get 1 more bite in, get up to 42 health. And, ooh, a footwork? A backflip would be okay to draw cards, but we need a way to block. I think footwork is a nice thing at this point in the game. Yikes. Max HP, go down to 23. Or get a curse. So these both actually kind of have an upside for us. We're feeling pretty safe in this next fight with our turn 2 and turn 3 protection. And with our pin nib probably on turn 1. So getting max HP gets us back up to 58, makes our meat on the bone better because it's easier to get to half health without dying. Or we could get a curse. Now the curse is bad because it's a curse in your deck, but it does give us 1 strength. Is 1 strength worth a curse in our deck that keeps doing random damage to us? But we also have bites that do random healing. So basically, it's just... if we had a card in our deck that was... I'm comparing it to the card Jax, right? Which is an event card. It's 0 energy. And it's lose 3 HP, gain 2 strength. Or you upgrade it and lose 3 HP, gain 3 strength. Whatever. So this is a card in our deck, which is lose 2 HP, but permanently have 1 strength. And it's basically a 0 energy card because we can't play it, but we have to draw it before we can draw other things. Or we just lose some health. I think the strength might actually help us. With a bunch of vulnerable and pin nib. This is a weird choice, but I'm going to give it a shot. Alright. Gremlin leader. Okay, we are getting attacked a bunch turn 1. So Predator kills that, if we want it to. But if we kill both of these little ones, the next turn it won't attack. And we kind of want it to attack next turn and the turn after, because we are so beefy the next 2 turns. So maybe let's just do a bunch of damage to the big one. If they're both weak, this is 3 and this is 4 times 3. So that's 15 damage, which just takes us down to 27. Which is 1 too high to start healing, but hey, look at that decay. So let's do that. Apply some weak, get our pin nib, vulnerable, extra strength predator for 51 damage. Get one of these going. And we could heal and deal some extra damage, or we could deadly poison. If we deadly poison this, it doesn't die next turn, but it dies the turn after that. No. 9 this turn, then 8 next turn. Then it dies the turn after that, which is when we want it to die, because the next 2 turns we actually kind of want it alive, so these things keep attacking. Or this thing keeps attacking. Because when they're dead, it resummons. Buffing strength sucks. But I think that's fine. So, we are intangible, so let's just do a bunch of damage. Alright. That thing's dying next turn. Exactly. 8 and then 7, so we don't need to worry about that. We want to kill this. We have Captain's Wheel next turn. I'm just gonna do maximum damage here. Take 1. If we could take 2 more damage this fight, that would be nice, but I have a feeling it'll happen. So yeah, we're getting attacked for 24. This is 28. Can we just kill it this turn? 28. 38. 47. Yeah, let's just kill it, right? We've got another hallway fight to get our numbers where we want for champ. Well, if we could take 2 more damage, that would be kind of nice. I think we can set our numbers up pretty safely here. So if we do this, and then don't block, we'll take 6. So effectively we lose 4, go down to 24, which is actually an improvement. 28 damage, or 14 and some poison. Let's just do 28. That thing's not hitting us. Awesome, we got our meat on the bone active. It is afraid. We can play 1 more bite, and we're still getting our meat on the bone healing. 2 is fine. It's a hallway fight. We got our pin nib at 7. Extra strength, let's go. So we now start with 1, 2, 3 strength at the start of each fight. Cloak and Dagger or an Adrenaline? And this is an okay defensive card. And the Shiv is really nice with the strength, but an Adrenaline is, it's a rare for a reason. It's kind of hard to pass up. Card draw or block potion? Card draw helps us draw weak when we need it. Our deck has expanded, so we don't have weak all the time. Give me an event. Transform a... If we transform a bite, it becomes a random colorless card. And we like bites better than random colorless cards. Right? We transform a decay, it becomes another curse. Or we could transform one of our, like, more mediocre attacks. Could transform a deadly poison, but like with a poison stab and a crippling cloud, we could get better at poisoning things. This is kind of a tricky, sticky wicket. I like decay as a curse. There are curses that are a lot worse for us, like gaining frail, gaining weak, taking damage when you play a card. All these are way worse than take 2 damage once through your deck. There's a couple that are better, but like, decay is fine. Can transform a dagger throw? Or we could actually get a random colorless card. Maybe we could benefit from a random colorless card? I'm not transforming a defend. We have a footwork, we need those. I'm not transforming a predator, it's a big attack, we need those. Sucker Punch Plus, I mean, we've upgraded it. It's pretty good for what it does right now. It's an attack, it stacks pin nib, it scales with strength, it applies weak. These are all things we care a lot about. Neutralize, pretty much the same thing. Leg sweep is very good. So I think it's down to dagger throw, deadly poison, or bite. We could get rid of terror, but I think terror is still an important way of killing big enemies for us. I'm gonna get rid of deadly poison. There are just better poison cards we can replace it with. Alright, we got a little bit of card draw. I think that was actually kind of a downgrade. But it is what it is. We're gonna have a big turn here. So 3, 6, 9. So let's draw some cards. Alright. So we could try and draw a bigger attack, and if we don't, we can just pin nib the poison stab. Seems fine to me. So we will... Sucker Punch is actually our biggest attack on our hand. So we'll pin nib that. Neutralize, bite. And do we want to play a footwork or just get it on the brink of death? Let's just, like, kill it. We don't have to block if it's dead. That's what I'm thinking. Happy Flower on 2, Incense Burner on 4. Dagger Spray is AoE. We don't have any AoE. So a Skewer would be a nice big attack. Skewer is really nice with Pin Nib and Strength. So we have 3 Strength, so this is already an upgraded Skewer. So if we have 4 energy, or with Happy Flower 5, this could be deal 10 damage 10 times. That's really worth considering. But right now, I think in Act 3, we also just die to Reptomancer. I don't think we have enough single target damage to kill all the little daggers. I don't know, we have 2 glass knives. Maybe we don't need a dagger spray. Because Reptomancer is the biggest reason you need area of effect damage. Let's also think about, we get 1 upgrade here. We could upgrade the Skewer, but that would be instead of the Crippling Cloud or the Footwork. I think the Footwork is probably the important upgrade against Champ here. It's never Bane. Sorry, Bane. Skewer will help us most against the Champ, and I think it is not yet guaranteed that we win the Champ fight. We could upgrade it for that. Just try to get a big Pin Nib Skewer, because Champ Phase 1, you know, it's always weak. We can block, and we keep healing. I think we'll get through Champ Phase 1 alright, but Phase 2 it starts really hitting hard. So if we Pin Nib and Duplication Potion a Skewer, it plays 3 times instead of twice. So with 4 or 5 energy, 4 energy, that's, well, it's 10, but it's vulnerable, hopefully. So 15 times 8 is 120, times 10 is 150. Pretty good. But if we upgrade it, it's even better. But we don't have any defense. I don't know. But like, if we're relying on Skewer to win fights, we need it, right? I think we need to get to that part of the fight first. Let's get a Footwork plus. Because Champ's big execute attack happens when you split it, but if we have a Footwork, especially if we Duplication Potion the Footwork, we can stall in Phase 1, get our Incense Burner at the right number, so that when we take it into Phase 2, its first attack is wasted. So the question is, do we play Terror during Phase 1, or do we save it for Phase 2? If we're playing it, we want to play it now. But I'm not sure that we want to play it now. I think if we use a Duplication Potion on Footwork Plus, Phase 1 is fine. Plus we have an Incense Burner and a Captain's Wheel, so we're in no rush to get out of Phase 1. Let's save the Terror. Since we're in no rush, we probably want to wait for Incense Burner to get back up to 5 before we go out of Phase 1. So I'm not going to do the most damage I can. I'm just going to do the slightly more defensive play, which is Bite. Predator, Bite. I mean, I'll play it. Like, Pin Nib, Glass Knife, very big. So it's at 304. Got our Captain's Wheel. Alright. Now the question is, how much do we need to Duplication Potion this Footwork? Honestly, when it's weak, I think a single Footwork gets us through Phase 1 pretty well. 4 poison is not going to be a problem. So we'll save the Duplication Potion. We can use it on the Skewer in Phase 2 if we need to. This keeps it weak. And then just get it closer to the split point. Stack Pin Nib. Yeah, stack Pin Nib. Okay, so it's going to take 6 this turn. We don't want to get it below 220. $28 damage seems like not an important thing right now. Not 28, it's not even Pin Nibbed. Alright, we want to split it next turn. So if we get it down to like 225. No, wait, we want to split it this turn. Right. Because after we split it, it just buffs for a turn. And we'll keep it from gaining strength right now, so we're going to split it here. Alright, we get to Pin Nib our Glass Knife, which is ideal. Then we Predator. Draw some more damage next turn. So next turn, it's just going to buff. We have a bunch of energy when we have a bunch of cards from Predator. Give me some more cards. Alright, those aren't really helpful. I mean, we can make it weak, but that's not going to matter when it cleanses all that. Anyway, we're intangible. So 22 times 2 goes down to 1 times 2. You can see how that might be an important difference to consider. Alright, we got our Terror exactly when we want it. Yeah, 38 damage. So far, looking pretty good. We are getting pretty near to a nice skewer party, so let's see if we draw it right here. We do not. So we could Poison Stab, Bite, Expertise, try and draw something else. Or we could just Poison Stab and Leg Sweep to make sure it's weak next turn. Or we could Bite just to try and kill it. But I think we've got damage. I just want to make sure we don't die next turn, because we can't kill it next turn. I mean, we could, but we'd need good draws. Like, for example, both of our Glass Knives. Okay, well, let's play this stuff. Good fight. Nightmare? Nightmare gets us more footwork. Gets us more adrenaline. Gets us more Glass Knife plus sometimes. It's not an incredible Nightmare, but it's good for adrenaline, and it's good for footwork, and it's good for Piercing Wail. And the rest of these are butt. I think we kind of like our current potions. Okay. Energy, but we can't... More energy, but we can't get more cards seems bad, because we currently can't... We currently don't have any way to kill the heart. Our measly little attacks are not big enough to kill it. Our measly little dexterity is not big enough to block against it. And intangible 1 out of every 6 turns is not going to save us. So we need new cards. So I don't know if I can take a Busted Crown here. Our deck can't beat the heart, and I'm not willing to limit our options. Empty Cage would be what? 2 bites? I don't really want to remove the decay because, you know, we took it for a reason. We took it for the Duvu doll, and I think the strength is useful. Removing 2 bites could help our deck. I hate to do this, because we're not going to use the potion, so it's just some max HP and 1 card choice is 1 and a random upgrade. I mean, the other thing is our deck can't currently beat end-game enemies. Bite is nice, but it's not a card that's going to defeat end-game enemies, you know? I think we could remove the expertise, honestly. Expertise and Bite? If it were upgraded, it might be okay, but we haven't been having issues with drawing enough stuff. I think it's Empty Cage. Because we're not going to use the potion. We can't afford Busted Crown. But thinking of it a different way, this is one more chance. So this is one more chance to obtain the card or cards that help us beat late game enemies. This doesn't help us get them, but once it helps us draw them faster by getting rid of things that aren't them. And it makes it easier to do things like Nightmare and Adrenaline or a Footwork, because we're more likely to draw them together. I'm going to take the Empty Cage. Is a Bite better than a Dagger Throw? Draw 1, discard 1 seems better than Healing 2. Like, we like the ability to heal, but we're not super relying on it as a way to block during fights. It's more just to keep us healthy between fights, and we have a meat on the bone for that. But I think a Bite is better than an Expertise, because it's not very good in our current deck. We gotta fight the super. It's in a convenient location, so we're not going this way, but we could still start from any of these. Campfire, Elite, lots of question marks in that. Do we want to do a shop first? We're getting a shop right after that, so I'm okay stockpiling some money. Let's take some Act 3 events. There's some good ones. Alright. Big damage this turn. Don't even need all of it. Wow. Another Footwork seems like a helpful defensive tool. Now, a Cunning Potion, they deal 9 damage each, so it deals 27 damage, thanks to our strength. More if it's vulnerable, and it helps set up Pin Nib. So basically this is like, if our Pin Nib is at like 6, and we've got a big attack we want to play, this helps us play it. I think this is better than drawing 3 cards. Alright, so if we give up a rare, we get max HP. I don't think we need the max HP. We could get the curse out of our deck, but I don't think we want that. I think it's probably another Bite. It's that or the Crippling Cloud. We're not doing much with poison, but the weak to all enemies is still okay. So they heal us, but we were at full health, so it doesn't matter. We get our Pin Nib now. So with vulnerable, that deals 54. Not quite enough. How about 90? Well, hold on. This is already going to deal 30 damage to one of them. So really the extra damage is kind of wasted. Let's do that. Then we can still kill 2 of them. Take a little damage from decay, but you know, our deck is full of bites. 2 damage every now and then is not really an issue for us. Let's see if we can kill it this turn. Yes, we can kill it this turn. Let's get our thingy up a little higher. So we'll have intangible on turn 1, a good Pin Nib going. Sucker Punch it into next week. Infinite Blades is 7 damage per turn. That seems not enough. This is good with a bunch of dexterity. It's bad with a bunch of attacks. We don't really have a lot of skills. It's also bad against Time Eater, because it's a card play that isn't super high impact, and it's not great against the the heart, because it's a card play that isn't super high impact. So then it's kind of a coin flip whether it's just barely good or actually bad. I don't think we need that coin flip in our deck. This is a little bit of scaling damage, but it's not going to kill the heart. It's not going to kill the bosses. We need scaling. Okay, Bronze Scales does a lot of damage to the heart. Could take another footwork. Apotheosis would upgrade. Meaningful upgrades would be Neutralize, Leg Sweep, Crippling Cloud, Adrenaline, Skewer, and Footwork. It's a lot of money, but it might be worth it. I very rarely buy Apotheosis. But if we have a deck with a... But we haven't been to a lot of campfires. Now, we have campfires coming up. So we can upgrade one thing here. And when we recall, yeah, we only get one more upgrade. Take another footwork. And Bronze Scales helps us kill the heart faster. We might just be killing the heart with attacks. In which case, dealing an extra 45 damage on the multi-attacks, let's say it does like 3 of them. An extra 100 damage to the heart is definitely not something to sneeze at, but once we play Apotheosis, I think it'll deal more damage to the heart, get us more block. Flash of Steel would be okay, but money. We don't have money. I think we kind of need Terror to kill the bosses. I don't love it. Neutralize is decent, but we haven't even upgraded it. But it's good, but we are gonna upgrade it. It's not footwork. But we don't have any other way to apply vulnerable, and that could help us a lot. We have a lot of other ways to apply weak. So this is going to be a very rare sight, a silent deck with no neutralize in it. Do I want to take more hallway fights for more card choices? Or do I want to get some events? With these footworks and this Apotheosis, we might actually have what it takes. I would love to get some, like, poison, even just like a chill catalyst. Let's go ahead and recall now. I don't think we have any cards that are super important to upgrade immediately yet, and we might get one. I wish we had a cursed key. I want more curses. Yeah, we don't need the dagger spray in this fight. So if we skewer with 3, so if we play 1 attack, I'm trying to think if we can kill it this turn. So this is 44. So then the next one would be 88. That's got to be better than skewering, yeah. This is only 45 damage with 3 energy, and this is more than that. So that's our pin nib thing. I kind of think we just try and kill the big thing. So this is 44, then another 88, so 132. Then we play 2 more attacks, and that does a bunch of damage. Oh, wait. It's actually 90, not 88, because of the rounding that's happening with vulnerable. Okay. If we don't draw attacks, we can use the Shiv Potion. We could use it right now, but no need. Taking 2 damage is not an issue. It's actually better to get our Instance Burner on Intangible off. We're going to fight the Super without any more hallway fights before it, thanks to Juzu Bracelet. So it's either Giant Head or Nemesis. Neither of them are... Like, Nemesis can be scary early, but also Giant Head is scary later. Neither of them are a huge deal to kill really fast. Okay, let's do this. Alright, yeah, we're just killing it. Get one more pin nib stack and blast him. 2 skill upgrades. I mean, this is just a block card. It costs 0 energy. We improve it a bunch with footwork. It's a card that says gain block. Those are probably our 2 best skill upgrades compared to all the defends and the survivor. Leg sweep would be okay. Nightmare would be okay, but those are good upgrades. Spend 54 gold for 1 week on turn 1. Yeah, we like making things weak, and it gets rid of artifact charges. Paper Crane would maybe be like one of the best possible defensive relics for our deck, but we have to take Sapphire Key to fight the heart. No. We don't even have any money. I'm not even talking to him. Alright. Big Apo. That's what they used to call New York City back in the day. But obviously, for obvious reasons, that was kind of unpopular, so they changed it. You know, I could have done a Shiv Potion to maybe try and pin nib that Glass Knife for 90 damage. But I think we'll be okay. We got 3 dexterity, we've got all our cards upgraded. Early Apotheosis is really nice. Alright, we'll do that. Is it better to have a pin nib next turn, or draw extra cards, or have it weak? Let's try and kill it. Taking damage is a bummer. We got a hallway fight before Donu Deka, so we can try and heal up there. Or I could just waste the pin nib. No. I want to use the pin nib. Plus, we had that coming. We don't have a lot of card draw. A little bit of poison seems nice. Against Donu Deka, Incense Burner is not super important because they're going to attack every single turn. Alright, well, we're going to get hit here, that's for sure. If we Nightmare a Bite, we get some extra healing. So this is going to take us 33, so down to 10. We want to get up to 26. So if we play Bite now, and then 3 bites next turn, that heals 12, so we get to 22. This seems pretty good. We could also do it on Skewer and just kill the thing, but whatever. A little bit of healing, a little bit of dex, a little bit of poison, a little bit of stack our pin nib. We take 33, but this is why we were happy we gained all that max health. A bunch of healing. We could play 1 more Bite Plus and get our Incense Burner up to a better number, but then we have to block next turn. But it is weak next turn. We have 9 dexterity, so we just have to draw any defense. Hey, there you go, we drew it. Any defense. All the defense we need. I think we can probably kill it with 1 attack. Especially if we draw extra cards. We've got the Glass Knife and the Skewer. And Dagger Throw, I think, also does it. Heal 3 HP, or just save our pin nib. I like a good pin nib. Ooh, Bottle of Power could be good. Noxious Fumes? Scaling damage? I mean, God help me, it might be the thing we need. What would we bottle? A Footwork Plus? Do we want to play a Footwork Plus on turn 1 in every fight? We want to play it against the Act 4 elites. We want to play it against the Heart. We're okay playing it against Donu Deka. Time Eater and Awakened One. Not great against Awakened One, but still fine. This is not great against Awakened One. This is really good with a bunch of Strength. With 3 Strength, this is deal 6 damage 5 times, so that can go up to deal 12 damage 5 times, and with Vulnerable, that can go up to deal 18 damage 5 times. So at its best, this is 90 damage. Is that enough to matter against... Is that enough that we care about it against the heart? Let's take a Noxious Fumes. Speed Potion is really big block, but this helps us kill Donu Deka in time. It's pretty bad against Time Eater, though. We don't know which one we're fighting, and this is good no matter what. Let's bottle a Footwork Plus. I'm not going to bottle a Noxious Fumes, because that could be better if we upgraded it with Apotheosis. None of these. Upgrade all cards you can no longer heal. Still not good. We have a bunch of healing. I mean, the upgrades are really nice, but we have an Apotheosis for that. Rare Relic is good. Or we could get 1 more Strength, but it makes us weak. And making us weak sometimes is pretty much bad enough that, like, being weak makes our attacks less good sometimes. A lot less good sometimes, in exchange for them making them a little bit better all the time. And the healing, like, we don't care. So, like usual, it's the Rare Relic, but it was close. We'll play that. Okay. We'll just keep it weak, and vulnerable, and poisoned. And that'll probably do enough. I'm not really worried about this fight. Apo, bite. Are we trying to end this fight at 26, or are we trying to heal up with bites? I think we're trying to heal up with bites. If we get a chance to, it might just die on us. Let's get some more bites, get a little more healing. You know what, I should have played the bite instead of another Footwork. 9 dex isn't going to matter against this thing. Like, what's it going to do? Could draw 1 more bite. We lose our Happy Flower, but we get our Incense Burner up. And we've got another hallway fight before the boss anyway. There's our bite, so we're up to 45. Apotheosis does make the bites pretty decent. Now, the enemy is often weak. We do have strength. That makes this better. I don't know that it makes it good. No. No reason not to. Nice against Donu Deka. We'll get the Noxious Fumes. It'll put a little poison on each of them. Same with Crippling Cloud and all that. And, you know, they'll just slowly build up some poison over the course of the fight. Then the second one will die a little quicker. It can be okay against the Act 4 elites. I mean, it's not huge. It's not huge for our deck because poison is not huge for our deck. So draw a card, or if we don't put it in our deck, we draw a card whenever we don't draw it. I don't think we care about playing one more very simple attack. I'll tell you what we'll do. We're going to just try and get a very defensive setup going. And then we'll try and block this thing as long as we need to. Okay. I want to save that duplication potion. And if we can get a lot of defense going, it's fine to take a little bit of damage now, because we'll be able to just play as many bites as we need and just slowly get up to max health. Like, one of these is enough. We could wait to upgrade this with Apotheosis. But I think we have enough. I don't know if I even want to play attacks that aren't bites yet. Yeah, we do need to get started. And the weak will be nice just in case. There's our bite upgrades. So now they heal for more. We're intangible, so taking 2 damage is fine. Alright, we bite, we leg sweep, we full block. We're just playing bites and defensive cards now. And thinking about where we want to end, like 4 is nice. And Happy Flower at 2 is nice, so let's start maybe trying to kill it. Nice, but not mandatory. 5? 5 is okay. We got another footwork in there? Okay. We're actually being attacked for damage here, so let's try and stop that. Now we're full blocked. Are we gonna wait another round on this? Maybe. That full blocks. Let's just wait another round. Get our Incense Burner and our Happy Flower started a little more. So now whenever we're ready to kill it, it'll just die, or we can die to poison. Yeah, 17 dexterity is pretty strong for most fights that are in the video game Slay the Spire. .44 health is fine. Let's get these stacked a little more. And give me a defensive card. There you go. Cool, so we'll end with our pin nib at 9. And these are at perfectly acceptable numbers. Do we want to take another deflect? We're not always going to be able to Nightmare Footwork, but with 3 footworks, we are often going to be able to Nightmare Footwork. If we wanted to be really spicy, we could even Duplication Potion the Nightmare and just get a zillion decks. In which case, Deflect becomes quite good. We just don't have the card draw to make it awesome. Thinking about cards I want to play before I Apo. Could be a footwork. Noxious Fumes we want to play it the first time we draw it. I think we are kind of relying on this to deal some bonus damage against the heart. It's a weird upgrade. Maybe it should have been a footwork. Alright, I think we're doing the same plan. Take 24, but that's fine. Next turn we get attacked for... They're gaining strength, so more than 24, so we will have to block a little. I could also Terror and Piercing Wail, but then I don't get to Nightmare the footwork. I'm not going to play all the footworks next turn now. I could use a Speed Potion this turn. If I Footwork, Defend, with Speed Potion that fully blocks. If I Footwork, Defend, I could Piercing Wail, and then I could Terror this one to just make sure we kill it really fast. So then we block for 8, or if we use the potion, 13. Not a super inspiring potion. Oh, this is awkward. Our Captain's Wheel and our Incense Burner are going to happen on the same turn. That's a shame. Should have killed it one turn sooner, I guess. Didn't think it through. Not enough, anyway. If we just had one more energy, we could Nightmare, then we could do the Terror and Piercing Wail thing, but we don't, is the issue. We could Duplication Potion a Piercing Wail. That seems a little... I mean, it solves our problem, but it seems like kind of a sad use of a Piercing Wail, but it does let us... I mean, sorry, a sad use of a Dupe Potion. That could be so clutch for us. What if we Nightmare Footwork, then we just play a Defend? Then we take 19. Next turn, they gain, what, 3 strength? So next turn, worst case scenario, we play 3 foot... We actually take 21, so then we could play 3 Footworks and take a bunch more damage. So what? 19, then 25. So 43, and with this, 45. But if we play any sort of defensive card next turn, we're okay. And if we can get a bunch... The reason I'm so excited about getting a bunch of Footwork played... Oh, yikes. Rough one. But not too bad, actually. Actually pretty good. I want to get a bunch of Footwork played because I want to get to a point where we can defend effortlessly, because that's the point where we can play a zillion bites and get to full health before the next boss fight. This is not just like greed, it's also for some tactical purpose. So we could deal 20 damage. Yeah. So this deals double damage, so we could deal 100 damage to that. Not good enough. But we can make it weak. Footwork. Footwork. Deflect is already looking pretty good. We do the Noxious Fumes, but I think more Footwork is nice. So now we take a little more damage, but we don't die, and next turn we're safe. Okay. Use our Pin Nib, Bite, Footwork, and Poison. We did not get our Noxious Fumes going, which is a shame. We did not get our Vulnerable going, which is a shame. But now, we do pretty good here. So, I don't even need to make this one weak. I can make this one weak for next turn. Keep hitting that. Because you do want to kill this one first, because this is the one that gives them strength. This one just gives them plated armor. We play the Apo. We gain the dex. At this point, we just gain dexterity and don't worry too much about the rest. So let's weaken that for next turn. We're already fully blocked. Let's get some healing and heal 3, or make sure this is weak next time around. We don't have a lot of weak in our deck left. Let's make sure this stays weak. Alright, we do need to start killing it at some point. But that point is luckily not too soon. Wish we had Calibers, just to keep our block going long term. But with 14 decks, as long as we draw any block card at all, it's hard for them to kill us. We got our Noxious Fumes. You know what? I kind of wish I'd kept that expertise. I gotta admit, it would have been helpful. But yikes. Okay. So we're gonna make that Terror. And then... So if we just play this, we die. We could Dupe Potion to block a bunch. If we Speed Potion, it doesn't block nearly as good, but we're intangible next turn, and then we're probably killing them pretty okay. So if we gain 5 dex, this blocks for 30. It's attacking for 48. Nah, we're gonna get hit next turn also. But we might need to... No, we need to Dupe Potion the Piercing Wail, and we need to draw the Piercing Wail. Alright. A little scary. No, wait, we're intangible. Right. So we just Pin Nib. Take 2 damage, that's fine. We have... As long as we draw a bite at some point. Predator good. Bite good. Damage good. Alright. Scary fight. But we get to keep our Duke Potion. We got some weak. It is a little scary to draw all of our block at once, but Specimen did put some poison on it, so that's going to be nice. Yeah, don't draw all our block cards before it attacks. This could be a little tricky here. Alright. Very close, but just not quite. We almost got it, though. Good run. Made it to the Act 3 bosses, had some fun, just did not quite manage to build a strong scaling deck. Wow, we went to a lot of events. Anyway, thanks for watching.